Hi, last year I brought you a game with my favourite opponent from the Canterbury Chess Club, which I do actually call him my favourite opponent because of the struggles we get, which are really quite fun. And it's not because I can do well against him, because I don't always. I have had a draw with him last year in the club championships from the Canterbury Chess Club, but this opponent, Fredirico, is probably matching my style, and I probably match his. So we've had some encounters, primarily in lightning chess. I've won, I think, all of them. But here is a match game. This is a match game from the Chaz Al Hart Trophy Tournament, round 3, last night, the 29th of May 2019, Wednesday evening. And this was round 3, of course, like I say, and I am black here, and I just want to show you the way the game goes. And it's like all of a sudden someone comes along and just lights something inside of me, and all hell sort of breaks loose. So here we go with knight f3 is my opponent's Frederico's opening move. So last year I brought you a game from the South Island Championships where I played round 7 Fredirico, and I was white in that case. So you might like to have a look at that for that game, and I ended up winning that. But then in the club champs later on in 2018, I only drew with him with the black pieces. But here I am again with the black pieces. So I was thinking, well, I won't play the King's Indian again because he seemed to meet that quite well. The King's Indian, of course, is d6 and knight f6 and g6 and that sort of thing, which probably would suit my play anyway if I play it normally, but I didn't last year. So here we go, knight f3, e6. By the way, I would consider this, especially the end part, as approaching one of my immortal games. But I'm not saying that it is immortal, because obviously we make lots of mistakes if I look at it on Fritz 11. But I'm pretty pleased with my play, and I've been told by the El Presidente to put this game on the net, specifically the ending. Castling, and then castling, and then c6. Over protection of this pawn on d5. Mouse off the field, come on, all mice off the field. So we have a3 with the intent of b4, of course. So I play a5 to prevent same, to prophylactically prevent it. And I could possibly look at this idea of d4, okay? But I'm a wee bit worried about the follow-up. But it's probably an idea here. So bishop d2, I could play it, but I have to start defending this d pawn soon, because I have to be able to put my knight somewhere. So it would probably possibly go here, but it feels a little bit out of place here. So anyway, I just keep it normal. Now I'm ready for moves like knight g5, with just moves like, not here, because then b4 will be a little bit annoying, but knight e5. And if my opponent Fredirico hits my knight around, well, I can go here, or I can go here, or I can go here, but I don't want to go here, of course, for obvious reasons. So I can go here, and this is just analysis, or knight g6, or knight f7. Although I was sort of in the mood for not swapping things off today, or yesterday I mean. So I could even play bishop c5, check. So here's cd5, ed5, queen c2. So he's more or less finished his development for this game, and whereas I start moving my pieces twice. Bishop d6, knight d4, a move I actually wanted him to play, but I'm not sure. Yeah, we were both, I was thinking that, and he was thinking that he quite liked it for white. So I play knight e5 for other reasons here, and I can get my knight hit with b4, but I could just move back here after that, which loses this pawn on f5. So I would take the rook first, and then look to move the knight back to here, sadly, which is attacking the b pawn, and b5 can happen, and I can play knight b4 or something, but it's not exactly what I want. So I've got knight e5, and Fredirico now plays knight f3. So, and I'm going, no, I don't want to swap off, even though I probably should, but I play knight g6. So he goes on a hunt for, he said, post the game, he wanted to try to get some more room by swapping off some like cavalry or pieces or bishops and things like that. So he plays e3, bishop d7, and here he comes with wanting to swap things off. So I evade capture, I play knight g4, why not? And then he plays knight f4, asking for another swap. He now wants to swap these two stallions off. So I say, no, I'm not going to. So what does he do? He swaps one off. Knight e5. Now maybe, I wonder if Fritz would give me the best piece. I think the bishop might be better than the knight, but I'm not sure. Oh, knight. Okay. So I'll switch off the engine. But anyway, I played knight e5. So I played the right move. Bishop e5. And it soon dawns on me, I go, hang on a second. If a knight goes to here and f4 happens eventually, then white's going to have some serious places for establishment of their knight on d3 eventually to c5 or e5. So knight d3, here we go, as promised. Now I play b6 to prevent the obvious knight c5 move. Queen d2, and now I'm looking at this, maybe my opponent wants to play b4, and so I play a4, and that's just preventing it. I'm not completely sure whether this is all good or not, but I'm just pushing pieces. I'm just pushing wood here. I'm just a wood pusher here, and so that would bring me on to that subject about chess is a good game, fun game, and all that sort of thing, especially when you win. If you lose, well, it's not so good. That's just all there is to it. And so at the end of the day, there's not many people that become the greatest players out. But this game I quite enjoy because of just the personalities that we are. Both of us seem to enjoy playing each other. And I don't even mind if he gets a good position or wins. I don't even care. I don't know why, but it's true. But until I lose, I won't really know for sure whether or not that's true or not. So rook c1, rook ac1, and now we have one long line, which is rook f c8 from the computer that was played after, but I played rook f e8, h5. Now this is probably too late or something. I had thought about playing it earlier on, but then I was afraid my opponent would probably play h4, which maybe the computer would too, but my opponent plays here, of course, f4. So I just play h4, okay, and in comes this knight to e5. Now I don't really want the knight sitting there, so I just, because I have to start defending the c6 pawn. I can't move it, of course. Now I thought if I play this, okay, what could white have done which would have really hurt? Is if I play this, I'm sure the computer will play this in a flash. So if I play rook a c8, new variation, can I do this? Yeah, then we've got, I believe, this move. And that's very embarrassing. Should the rook take back, then we have bishop takes pawn check, and then bishop takes c6 on the rook on c6. Should the bishop take, then we have similar rook c6 in this case, threatening bishop d5 check, and so after rook c6, bishop d5 check, and picking up the rook with a clear advantage for white, given that this pawn is going to be up for grabs in a couple of moves time, pending black's moves, which aren't going to be any reasonable moves other than feeble ones like rook a8, which don't work because of bishop a8. Okay, so there goes that annoying whistle again. So I took the knight. I took the knight on e5. And now he was quite quick with his response, I thought. A little bit quick. But he didn't like my c pawn eventually being able to march and doubling, you know, sort of moving down the queen side with bishops on e6, rooks on c8 and d8, and etc., and defending my b6 and a4 pawns and taking the hg3 pawn. So here we have, he played this quite quickly, almost with a sort of like as if he was annoyed about something. I'm not sure. He went fe5. So here I play the obvious. So everyone can see the obvious. We've got the board flipped for you to find the obvious move here, which is hg3. So hg3 happens back because there's nothing happening here as before with that bishop diagonal, which I kind of forgot about. I play queen g5 because it looks like I'm doing something assertive for once in this game, instead of just sort of like kind of maneuvering, pushing pieces around and all that sort of stuff. So here I'm actually threatening, of course, queen g3. So my opponent reacts to that, which is something I like my opponent to do, reacts to something I'm doing, which I've noticed with other chess players in the Canterbury Chess Club in particular, that they like to just be calling the shots all the time. So if I start calling the shots, it works out okay. I won't say any more about it than that. I play rook e6. Now my opponent plays queen f4, wanting the swap again, and if I take on f4, then it will be devastating to my position. I play, what do I play? What do you think you'd play? It's not to say it's the best move in the world. I play queen h5. So here I was expecting, given the previous play, something like bishop f3. Maybe that's what the engine would play. Yes, again, I keep picking the moves for the engine under demand. And then I just have to go back here and maybe king g2 after that, and rook h1, and maybe look to double on the H file, which might not be very good for black, to be honest. So here my opponent plays a move that I thought, yeah, that's getting the even though after bishop f3 I would just go queen h3 and could offer my opponent a draw almost if I'm so well inclined, because the thing is I think this is better for white, but Fritz 11 judges this as a little bit better for black. But I don't know, I'm not sure about that. So here we've got this move, king f2. So already after queen g5 and queen away from not accepting a queen swap on f4, I'm already thinking that I've woken up. Now if I just go rook h6 here now, then it's just going to be rook h1, and I'm going to feel very annoyed with myself because I'm going to have to grovel out of the queen being attacked on h5. So I play here g5. So my opponent plays the only place on the board. Obviously if rook h1, everyone can see what will happen. Is it? Now was it correct or not? No, it wasn't. If rook h1 here, then white can get away with this because I haven't got queen h1 because of queen g5 check, and then rook takes queen or bishop takes queen. So here my opponent plays queen f3. So my opponent can actually play this move. Here is queen f3, and now as one person I showed it to last night said, this move, g4. I don't think I like that move very much because then it gives my opponent the square, and soon these rooks are going to be looking at my king side, which I don't want to. So here I drop the queen back to g6, and of course if queen f5, for those who want to see, this move is no good because of rook to f8 winning the queen. Now if rook h1, then I just take rook takes queen and move my queen back, or to queen f7 or g6 or g4 even. It's okay. So in this position I played queen g6, and now my opponent came to rook h1. So my move next I will show you is very simple to see, is rook f8, and the time limit, in case I haven't said it, is 1 hour 15 minutes each plus 30-second increments. So queen h5, I usually don't play match games at all well. Queen h5, and do I swap queens? I've only got one other move, so do I swap queens here, or do I do something else? So do I take this, or do I play bishop here, or do I play rook here? Do I play rook here? I'm sure my juniors can see that, if they're watching, can see what black would be met with if rook f7 is queen to h8 checkmate. So that's the same with if I play my queen back here too, as well as queen takes g5, but queen h8 is checkmate. So here I just drop my queen back to g7, and I'm thinking I'm going to play here soon. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, because I was thinking I'll go here and here, so I'm defending this square from I'm restraining this e3 pawn from moving on to e4 eventually. So, but now my opponent, sort of like, just like the gas has come out of his game, he plays. Now, I think that rook h2 and rook c h1 is looking quite reasonable for white. So I want to change it to black, but it's looking quite reasonable for white. And I can't play c5, of course, because of bishop d5 check, which is quite devastating in this case. So here my opponent goes queen e2. So what would you play now? Given that I've already spoken about this problem with e4 move. So here I start to play chess. So I haven't played chess up till now, ever in my life. Okay, that's what we'd have to say, isn't it? So here I play, is it bishop e8, or is it bishop out here and queen a7 and bishop a6, or something like that, or whatever. So probably a very easy move to see is I play f4. Now, the thing about f4 is, what does it threaten? What does this move threaten? It threatens something very nice. Can you find what it threatens? Because my king's sort of feeling snug. It's up sleeping in bed. It's nice and comfortable. It's got the queen defending these two important squares for the queen if it wants to enter back to h5. So what black is threatening, if black's got the move, is, let's say there's an obnoxious move like this, new variation, then I can do what? This move here. And this is very, very powerful, because this is a threatening the bishop, of course, and the queen. And if the bishop takes the pawn, which is really the only move you can want to do, then black plays g4, and all of a sudden this bishop can't move, of course, can't take the pawn. Sorry for the whistle, but now white is threatened with all sorts of mean things like pawn takes or rook takes and etc. So I'm sure everyone can see what the goodness of that move is. So now we'll go back to the main line. My opponent played gf3. Now I thought that he actually played ef3, ef4, not f3. And I play gf4, thinking that if pawn takes, of course, then I can possibly choose between this line. I'll show you what I intended. You can either believe me or not. So I got rook here. Now if bishop here, then I was going to play a move like this, which is, I don't even know if it's very good for me, because white can play rook here, and I can play bishop here. It's getting a bit knobbly though. So I'm sure you might like to have a look at this position in your head. There's no bishop d5 check, by the way. So because of that, because of the king. So that's, among other things, what I intended. But my opponent played a very threatening move here. What would you play here for white? So I'll hopefully not be too long with this. If I am, I have to take it off. Flip board. What would you play here? Which is what my opponent played. My opponent played, ready, set, go, rook c to g1, which is threatening sort of bishop away somewhere like here, and it's check to the queen on g6. So maybe bishop takes pawn, and we win the queen for the rook, because the rook can't move to defend the queen, because it's check, pardon me, to the king on g8. Just trying to flip the board. Now we have after rook c g1, what do I play? I might be best to put it one way or the other, but I have to be very, very careful here, because as previously mentioned, this is a threat or something to that effect. Bishop d5 and winning my queen. So I play queen g3. Now, when I look at this, we were playing these moves very quickly. We had to move, which suits me a little bit better than it does him. We had to play these moves quite quickly, but we still had reasonable time. But it got down to about 2 minutes or something, even 1 minute for Fredirico. So I played this thinking that this looks quite strong, realizing that of course I can't play this. Why not? Did I play this? I'm not sure now. I didn't. Cancel. Cancel. Now, if I play this, what happens? Is this okay? I'll show you what happens. If I play this, then I just get this move up in my position. Okay, and now my queen is pinned to the king on g8. See? So even if I take this, it looks like I can take this. Okay, it does look like that. But white can just merely take back, and I cannot take back. That's the horrible thing about chess, is I cannot take back. I can only do something like queen, like e2. Hopefully, white takes with their queen, if you get what I mean, and then I'm still not losing as much as I am. So that's what can happen. So I have to be very careful here. So I play rook g6, and then what did my opponent play next move, which I kind of missed, to be absolutely honest, but it turns out quite nicely. So I play rook g6, and my opponent went, yes, of course, bishop takes d5, and this is probably a lost position for white. Now I play, of course, cd5. I have to, got no choice, and here comes the rook g3. Oh, ouch, that hurt. Ooh, that was hot. I take back. Now king g2 is no good because of course, rook f2 check, and white may as well fold the pieces. So white does not go there. Doesn't go to g1 either, but maybe g1 is not bad. If g1, I would probably play bishop to g4, and then after, if queen d3 or queen c2, I would play bishop f5 to here and attack the queen, and then play bishop e4, etc., and g2. But I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. My opponent played king e1. Okay, so now I play g2. Now there were some tactics back here that my friend from the club said this move. Okay, but this is really, really, really bad. This is the most terriblest move in the world, because it just go bishop h3, check. And now rook can't take. Rook probably wants to go in front, and then we have all sorts of dilemmas for white. And if rook h3, then just not queen h3, but just queen g1 mate. So that's no good. So rook g6, bishop d5, c d5, rook g3, f g3, king e1. Now, did I play rook f2? No, I didn't. I played g2. Now this forces, as far as I'm concerned, rook g1. So what would you play here for black now? What move would you play here for black? And I believe it's always good to be in the deep end, or in the shallow end, you might call it. I always think it's best to be in the deep end. As I played bishop h3. Okay, so this is sort of like defending f1 twice, 3 times, with a rook f1 threat check. So my opponent plays, Fredirico plays queen h5 check, and of course I play rook f1 check. I'm in sort of like delicate time trouble here, and my opponent does not play here for obvious reasons of bishop to g4 check and bishop takes queen, resign time for white, but plays king to d2. Of course, rook f1 is no good because of gf1 check with the queen, and then the rest is really final as far as I'm concerned. So he plays king d2, and I play rook here. Now, is that to say that if he goes back here, I'm going to repeat moves? No, I'm not. I'm not going to continue to repeat moves. I'm probably just going to play rook f1 check, and then after king d2, then play bishop f5, gaining some time on my clock for what it's worth. So here Fredirico plays king c3. So what is the move that the president of the Canterbury Chess Club really liked? Even now I'm thinking there's better. I'm thinking that now that I look at it, I think I've found a better move than what I played. And I have. Have I? Yes, I have. I found a better move than what I play. I play this move, which he really, really liked. And that's the end of the game after that. But here I've seen this move just now. Have I seen this move? Yeah. New variation. Now you can just about take your pick, even though this is probably no good actually, because maybe black is going to have white get out of this, because king d3 is a move here, and then all of a sudden I'm hampered with my coordination has gone out. So he thought bishop f5 was good, and this of course threatens like rook c2 check, rook b2 check, and bishop c2 checkmate. So here my opponent frazzled. I think I've done something wrong here. Here my opponent went rook g2, rook g2, queen here, king here. I'm doing this from memory now. Queen here, king here. Now can you just go here? Oh, we'll just go there anyway. What did he play now? After king e3, he went here. This is really hard. I don't think the Fritz would be able to find a move here for white. But knowing Fritz, it probably will. B3. It's no good. Oh, rook G2. And queen G2, rook G2. So that's no good. It doesn't like it. Fritz obviously doesn't like this for black, for white. B3. Okay, now I'll turn that engine off and I'll finish up with the final moves. My opponent went queen D6. New mainline, you should know that, computer. Rook C2, king here, rook B2, king here, rook here, king here, and what was the final move? Rook B5 check. Okay, go figure. That's the end of the session. Thank you very much for watching. Hope it wasn't too long, but it was quite a nice wee game and encounter with my favourite chess opponent from Canterbury Chess Club Chess Trust.